Good morning and welcome to Morning Coach Today. I am so glad you're with us. Hey, it's episode 4889. Excited. It's a Monday. We got a big week planned. We're ending our February month, our last check month, which is important. Within our plan, it's like, okay, where are we at? What's going on? And I want to talk a little bit about that today and really go over that because it is our final check. We got a couple days to really get ready to rock and roll and take some massive action going into next month. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about doing better today. 2 words, do better. And it's something a coach has to tell you or tell yourself sometimes. I look in the mirror and say, do better. And I'm going to go over that, why I had to look at that in my own life and say, okay, it's time to do better. Focus in. So we're going to do that today. Tomorrow we're going to finish our book, Creativity Inc., another part 4. We're just going to go through the final part of it here and just crank through the book. It was a great book. A little bit about management, a little bit more business structure than I thought it was, but it's still a good book. Still a good book. And I have a new book coming for you for March, which on Wednesday we start. We start March, which is exciting. We're back into a due month. That means it's time to rock and roll. But with that, I'm going to talk about slowing down and allowing you time or me time. Really important thing that's working in my life, reducing anxiety and making things work so much better. And I want to go over that with you Wednesday. Important day. Thursday, we're going to talk about SJB. How do you fit so much in? I get this question a lot, and so I thought I'd spend a little bit of time on organizing, especially when I'm going to talk about some things I haven't got done and how I want to get even more done here in the near future. Friday, we're going to talk about understanding gambling versus investing mindset. We're going to talk about a little bit about fulfillment there and actually about freedom and fulfillment on Fridays. Going to be moving more into that area next couple weeks, which I'm excited about, and we've got some new things happening in that area. Saturday, we're going to talk about efficiency versus effective days. System day, important one to listen to if you're not getting a lot of things accomplished. They're both important days, and I'm going to go over why they are, so make sure you tune in Saturday. And then Sunday, we've got our spiritual day, loving it, loving life, loving work, loving it all, and why that is so important as we move forward and we get into our due month here. Excited you're with me. Really, it's going to be a great month. We got a couple days here to close out the month, and then let's get rolling. And like I said, the 2 words are do better. Today is 22 days AF, which means 22 days alcohol-free. Pretty excited about that. I'm working to bring my HRV up to 70 plus. My HRV was trending down. I've had some 30 and 40 days. I've really mentioned that I had to look in the mirror and go do better. Because the way this month started, or the way the year started, I really thought it was going to be this year where things were just going to fall into place and it was just going to start rolling, and I really had these high expectations. Then I went down to this mastermind and ended up drinking at the mastermind. I ended up drinking too much. That's kind of what they do there. And between us, right? I don't know if this is the right group for me anyways, because that's what they tend to do. And I'm moving away from that. I'm evolving into more really making a difference out there, working on our YouTube and really, really blowing up. Like there's a lot of great things happening, but personally, I was struggling a little bit with that, and I've mentioned that before. That was one of my demons. I've tried scotch here and there, and I'm not saying that, I'm completely just like gone, but it's something I've struggled with and I want to get rid of, right? It's just something that I just don't, it just doesn't serve me. And so 22 days AF, which is great. And more importantly, I'm working to bring my HRV up to 70 plus. I really had a great workout regimen the last few weeks. It's been awesome. The last 22 days, a lot of things have changed for me, and I think a lot of it has to do with just looking into the mirror and going do better. And so I had to change some plans, and one of the things that we had to do was go back to the fundamentals. And I'm working with a few pro golfers, as you know, and one of the big things is going back to the fundamentals. And it's weird. I don't know how to put this if you feel this way sometimes, but it's like you're dreaming, and all of a sudden you wake up. It's like, what the heck was I doing? What was I doing over those last, few months or even few years? It's like you're not even there. You're not even present. And again, for me, that's why I'm, really focused on my health and dopamine and really and getting my mind, because I want to do better. There's so many things I want to accomplish in this life, and there's so little time. We only live so long, and it's crazy. I really want to enjoy it. So, it's like a dream. And so like I've mentioned before, a couple things that get me out of that dream is journaling. Journaling a lot of times slows down, but what happens with journaling is amazing. Like if I'm coming out of, let's say, a bender, let's say 22 days ago I went out drank too much, and I'm like, man, I have got to change. And I'm really motivated for that first week. I'm really getting back to the fundamentals and things are going right. I'm journaling. And then all of a sudden I kind of settle in. I get complacent. And I think we all do, right? We get caught up in life. We get caught up in the minutia and we let things slide. And what we got to do in order to reach those high performance levels is not to let it slide. And we're going to talk about this Wednesday, why it's so important that you have a lot of me time built into your schedule. And again, this is something that I haven't done. I'm always evolving, always having great coaches in my life. And it's the things that I'm learning every day. It just amazes me how much I didn't know yesterday. And I mean, I'm reading every day, studying every day, and just getting better. Like, that's what's so exciting. Like, it's not what you achieve, it's who you become. And I think that's what's so cool about this whole process. Is like, it's a lifestyle change, and you just become somebody different, and you got to appreciate that. You got to appreciate that journey. But doing the fundamentals is so critical, and I mean by sitting down, getting your sacred six, your meditation, you're staying in shape. Those things are so important, and all of a sudden they start to slide, and days become weeks become months, and months become years. And next thing you know, you're just not where you want to be. And there's many, many, many people like this, right? And fortunately, I've got a good foundation to work on. My athletic shape with working with surf for all those years gave me a great foundation. So it's not like when I slide, I'm getting really overweight or I'm just I just lose the momentum. But when I'm rocking, like right now, like I'm rocking, I'm working on getting my abs back and my body feels good. I'm getting stronger again. I'm looking good in my clothes. It's just amazing how all of the fundamentals come into place, right? And again, it's like a dream. All of a sudden, something will happen and you slip outside that dream. I look back at New Year's. And again, I'm just full disclosure. I was all excited about the new year. I had my non-alcoholic whiskey with me, and for some reason I stopped and got a bottle of Jack Daniels, and we went to this party, and I was drinking non-alcoholic whiskey. I said, I have a few drinks. Next thing you know, I was up pretty late. It was fun. I'll be honest. It was a great time. Had a great time, good friends. I probably had a better time when I wasn't drinking, but then I was like, oh, it's okay to have a few drinks here and there. And so then I started down that pattern again of, every other weekend kind of going out and staying out too late, and it's just not fun, right? It's fun, but it's not fun. And so then I looked at January. I'm like, gosh, there was 3 weekends there. I went to Cabo, and I know you're saying you can have a vacation once in a while, but I just got in this pattern where, Mondays and Tuesdays weren't as productive. Wednesdays and Thursdays I was getting better. And then Fridays and Saturdays, here I was. And Saturday was like, hey, let's just go out and hang out a little bit. And I just really lost the momentum. And I really didn't like where I was at 22 days ago at the beginning of February. I told you I had to look in the mirror and say, do better. And so for me, it was a slide. It started on New Year's, and I wasn't as productive. My work isn't as clean. Things aren't going as fast as I want. And a lot of it goes back to me doing the fundamentals. And I'm not even going to bring in alcohol in this. I'm talking about all the fundamentals: working out, meditation, doing your sacred six, sticking to the plan, which I'm doing now. And it's amazing how different it is when you look in the mirror and go do better and you start doing your fundamentals. So I think about it's crazy why we stop, right? Isn't it weird? And I think of some things, like I think about guitar, I think about my writing, I think about being in shape. I mean, and I think about, gosh, how awesome of shape that I would be in if I just stuck with the fundamentals for the next 6 months, if I would have done it for the last 6 months. You ever do that and you just have that regret? Like, it's like, oh, man, if I'd have just stuck with it, where would I be? I mean, I bought a guitar 2 years ago. Can you imagine if I was practicing every day where I'd be? I mean, since I moved, and I got to give myself a little bit of a break, but still, if I had to practice 2 hours a day, I would be playing so many badass songs right now. And I'm not. Why? Because I didn't stick to the fundamentals. It's not one of my priorities, but still, 10 minutes a day. And I would be in such a good spot right now instead of not picking up the guitar for the past 6 months. So why do we stop? It's crazy. It's like I said, we get into this dream state where the things that are important to us then stop becoming important. And that's why we got to continually look at the priorities in our life and then go do better. What are the things that you want to do? My photography, I ended up getting a Sony Alpha 1 amazing camera. Just haven't been out. There's so many things to do. And why am I not doing that? Well, because I'm doing other things like drinking, like going out with friends. And people say, oh, that's such a priority. But it's not, right? And that's what I'm saying. For me, you have to be able to look in the mirror and go do better. And that's what we've got to work on. I think of the Tony Robbins story at the beginning of the book of, I think it's Awaken the Giant Within. And he talks about the OJ and the white Bronco. And I guess he had written that 10 years later. So I think he wrote that in 2004. Because I'll never forget the OJ in the white Bronco, because OJ, when he was in the white Bronco, for those of you out not in the United States, it's when Anna Nicole Smith passed away, and they were looking for O.J. Simpson as the person who of interest in the murder, right? And so O.J. got with his friend, and they were and did this police chase, slow police chase in a Ford white Bronco. And I remember it so well because it was on TV everywhere, and everybody was watching this. And it happened on my birthday, June 17, 1994. And I was in Tucson, Arizona at that time, and I'll never forget. I mean, it was everywhere. Everybody's talking about O.J. and the Bronco. But here's what's crazy. And Tony talks about this in 2004. He talks about, if you'd have watched that and started doing things differently, what would your life been like 10 years from now? What would it be like financially, relationship-wise, spiritual-wise? What could you have done differently? And that's such a powerful thing, because then I think back to that in 28 years ago. 28 years. It's crazy. I think about when I started this business. You know, I'm going on year 18. That's the time it takes somebody to start school and get through high school in the United States. What could I have done differently? I mean, the list is long. But here's the thing. We can't go backwards. We can't. You know, it's regression. Can you learn from going backwards? Yeah, with the right therapist, the right coach. I personally don't. I mean, that's not what I do, but there are good therapists and coaches that really can help you with cleaning some of that stuff up. But we want to move forward, and that's the thing. So we draw the line in the sand, and you say, okay, that was the past. It's gone. It's just memory trace in the mind. Now what are we going to do? Well, now we're going to focus on the future, right? We're going to focus on today and going forward. And that's what I think is so important about Morning Coach and the things we do and why we need to be here every day. Because we're all going to slide, and we talk about backsliding a lot. And then all of a sudden we got to get back at it. And then it's like, okay, do your best. And you never know the one time you're going to hear it. Because what's going to happen is you're going to fall off the fundamentals. We all do. I'm trying really hard not to this time. Okay. And a lot of it has to do with community. It has to do with support level. And we've got some things coming that are going to help you with that. Okay. But right now, I want you to focus on doing better. And what does that mean? What does that even mean? That means doing the fundamentals right. And we're going to get into that this week heavy. Okay. This week heavy. Because Wednesday, after we do our book study tomorrow, when we get into Wednesday, you know, I want to talk about some things that have just really shook my world up. And that's about taking some personal time and me time every single day. And getting rid of the anxiety and that speed up of life where it's just moving so fast. And you can't slow it down enough to kind of see what's going on. And that's where I believe we're in the dream state. And that's where Tony is telling us, you know, in his book, you know, those 10 years of how they just went so fast. And I got to tell you, it's going fast. I mean, we're already in March. So right now we need to slow it down, and we need to focus on what are your fundamentals. For me, I can tell you, it's reducing alcohol intake. It's getting in shape. It's about understanding some of the love in the business and focusing on how do I market that part of it and getting the right resources in place to help me. It's about doing the things that I love and things that bring me more energy. You know, we started the year that way. We talk about that. You know, do more things that bring you energy. Do less things that take energy. Well, that's where we're at right now. And we really got to focus on that as we get into this month and really get into the place where we are doing what? We're doing better. And doing better means doing better with the fundamentals. Getting your organization in place, getting your execution in place. And this weekend, very important on Saturdays, please join me to talk about efficiency and effectiveness. Because there's going to be days where you're efficient, and that means you're just checking boxes. That's like me changing the light fixtures upstairs. It's doing absolutely nothing for my life, but it's stuff I have to do, right? There are efficiency days where you got to take the garbage out. There's just a lot of stuff you have to do on efficiency days, and we need those days. But then there's effective days, and these are the things that we need more. We're going to talk about this on Saturday, but you've got to really start being more effective. And what I see, and especially with myself, I'm raising my hand up as much as anybody else. I'm being more efficient than I am effective. It's good in some ways because I'm getting the house done and things are moving, but I'm not being effective in the things that are making the big differences in my life. I hope that makes sense. So we're going to cover a lot this week. But today I want you to be thinking about doing better. That's it. Let's focus on doing better. We got the last couple days to change the plan. Tomorrow we're ending with the book study. We're going to finish the book Creativity Inc. And then we are rocking this week. Make sure you show up because this is going to be a big week. Got a lot going on, and I'm super excited to help you understand that this is the day we can plant our feet on the ground and say, okay, I remember the Tony Robbins story JB's talking about. I remember OJ. God, what could I have done from that day forward that would make a difference? Well, let me start today. That's what we're going to do. Let's focus on doing better. Okay, I love you. Get out there. Have a great one, and I'll be back with more right here tomorrow on morningcoach.com as we get into our book study. All right, you made it to the end. That's fantastic. Welcome. I'm glad you did. Excited to be working with you. Love for you to get involved in what we're doing. All you got to do is go over to morningcoach.com. Really easy. Click that join button. We have 2 amazing programs. We have Ignite for those of you that are looking to get organized and really get productive, and we have ILD Freedom for those of you that are in business. So jump on over there. As soon as you get the chance, click that join button, and literally you can get started. We're with you 365 days a year. You're not going to find a coaching program like this anywhere in the world. Look forward to working with you, and I can't see you over at morningcoach.com.